Audiobook Story presents 24 Christmas Whisper Stories, an Advent Experience. Story number 4, The Nutcracker, the Night of Sweet Dreams. The first breath of night frost entered the house so quietly, as if a fairy tale walked into the room on gentle feet. Outside the window, snow was swirling, slowly, peacefully, as if every flake knew its place in the dark sky. In the living room stood a Christmas tree, decorated with warm lights, and every garland shimmered softly, as if it was breathing together with the night. A woman sat on a fluffy blanket, wrapped in a warm sweater, holding a cup of cocoa in her hands. It smelled like chocolate, cinnamon, and something familiar, something that reminded her of childhood, of a time when the world felt simple, sweet, warm. Next to her, on a small table, stood a music box, old, wooden, with a worn golden handle and a picture slightly faded from many touches. She turned the key. The box chimed softly, and a delicate melody filled the air. Light, tiny, like the very first glow before dawn, the melody of the Nutcracker. She always loved this melody, not because of the ballet, not because of the story, but because of the feeling, as if the world becomes a little sweeter when these notes appear. The woman closed her eyes, and the melody guided her. The room filled with light, soft and warm, lying on the floor like fresh vanilla glaze. The air smelled like almond, white chocolate, and the sweet frosty air that comes only in December. And then she saw a small figure, a tiny nutcracker in an emerald jacket, gold buttons, a wooden face that suddenly became alive. He nodded to her, calmly, politely, the way characters from dreams greet each other, and whispered, "Follow me." The world around her changed slowly. The floor began to glow softly, as if warm candlelight spread over it. Pine branches lowered, like a quiet forest leaning closer to her. She took a step. The air became warm, sweet warm, like the steam rising from a cup of cocoa. She found herself in another place, soft, bright, filled with sparkles floating in the air like tiny golden snowflakes. Before her opened the sweet night. Mountains of marshmallows rose to the sky. Rivers of caramel flowed between warm hills, and a gentle vanilla scent wrapped everything around like a fluffy blanket. The Nutcracker walked ahead, leaving tiny bright footprints made of light. "Here," he said, "sweets are not for taste. They are for the soul, so it can remember what it means to be gentle." She touched the caramel river with her finger. Warm, sweet, like touching a memory. Then they came to a forest. The trees there were made of gingerbread, their edges smelling like cinnamon, honey, nutmeg. The branches were covered in powdered sugar, white, light, like the snow of dreams. "Listen," the Nutcracker whispered, and she heard it. The forest was breathing, quietly, evenly, in the rhythm of a heart. Farther lay a clearing where fairies were dancing, tiny like sparks, almost transparent, with wings glowing with warm pink light. Every movement they made felt like a breath, soft, slow, like sleep. "These are the fairies of sweet dreams," he said. "They come only to those who are very tired." One fairy flew to the woman and touched her palm. The touch was fluffy, warm, tender, like a sweater just taken out of the dryer. And then she understood. This world was not made for a story. It was made for rest. For people who find it hard to fall asleep, who carry inside them a little sadness, a little quiet, a little hope. "It's time," whispered the Nutcracker. "Go back." The world began to darken gently, as if someone covered the light with a cotton cloud. She returned to her room. The Christmas tree was still glowing. Snow was still swirling. The cocoa still smelled warm. But in her chest there was calm, quiet, sweetness. She placed her hand on her heart and smiled. "Thank you for the night of sweet dreams." And she fell asleep, not with thoughts, but with a feeling that the world can still be gentle